Okay, looks like we are live. And my master plan for making the image look a bit better appears to have worked. A bright light behind me actually gives me more natural skin tones up here. Homogeneous, and it only took me a little while to do it. A few people got in early waiting. Hey, Locust Trooper, how you doing? Just popping out the chat so I can see what everyone's up to. And hey, Heine, you got to pop in and out. Fair enough, man. And hello to Tendai, Patman, Miss Foxification, High Priestess Ice, Emperor Seeger, the light, it burns. Yes, it does. And hello, Charlie. But, well, yeah, while there's a really bright light behind me, it's making my skin tones look a lot better. Like, you know, skin tones as opposed to like washed out white or Donald Trump orange. So yeah, I thought this would work and I appear to be right. So hoorah! Experimentation pays off. Thanks, Catherine. Yes. Yes, it only took me a few tries to actually remember. These are just like, you know, these are work lights from Bunnings or for anyone who's not Australian, just from a hardware store. They're not halogen ones, which get really hot. They're LEDs, so they don't get hot. But yes, I worked out from one time just having this switched on and testing it during the day when there was a lot of light behind me because of the sunlight, the skin tones were better. And so I kept meaning to bring those lights because they're normally in my studio, which is our spare room or office or whatever you want to call it, but it's where I shoot a lot of my videos. And that's the lighting I use. I thought, I'm going to bring it out here. And it worked. Hurrah! Hey, Toby, how's it going? Locust Trooper, the way you do that, do you ever watch BoJack Horseman? There's those bits where, in his stand-up days, where BoJack Horseman says things to the audience, like he tells a joke, because there was a joke. Do you get those jokes? The way you just said there, like, oh, showing up your liver spots. Just a joke, take it easy. I hadn't even responded, and you're going, whoa, 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 take it easy. I was taking it easy, thanks, man. Patman Sport, how am I spending Grand Final Eve, which is tomorrow? Probably making a couple drinks and making a video. Raylene. Well, that's an interesting concept, Raylene. I'm sure you're referring to something, watching the USA reality TV show Conservatives Crap Themselves While Calling a Woman a Lighter. Oh, you mean is the hearings into the Judge Kavanaugh confirmation for the Supreme Court, is that going to be on TV, is it? Yeah, that's probably going to feature prominently in my TFU video tomorrow. The two big stories seem to be the ongoing drama with the Judge Kavanaugh hearings and the dramas with the ABC in Australia. Hey, Tara, how's it going? What am I drinking? Well, this is just my raspberry pepper smacks. But look, I'm going to make a whole shindig out of tonight. You'll be happy, Locust Trooper. I'm going to make some cocktails a bit later. I've made, this is bourbon infused with chili rock candy in my tasteful skull decanter. And this is my bourbon infused with caramel, salted caramel rock candy. And as a whiskey sour, whether that's made with bourbon, rye, or scotch, is one of my favorite drinks. I'm going to make whiskey sour with both of these. So you see the different colors they've got. This is much redder. And yeah, this is more yellowy bourbon color. But yes, I'm going to make something with those a bit later. Musical Aviator, you got to work on Grand Final Eve. Bummer. Yeah, Patman, for those who don't know, ABC is the government broadcaster in Australia, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Used to be commissioned, but the Liberals wanted to corporatise it more, so it's the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. And the managing director, the boss, was unceremoniously sacked this week. And there seemed to be lots of tension between her and the staff and whatnot. That came out of the blue, and like she's like threatening legal action at this point. But then, like within a day, there's breaking stories. Someone released some emails that showed the chairman of the board had been jockeying to have journalists fired for upsetting the government. And yeah, that's kind of weird when someone in the government is upset at a journalist. That's usually a sign that the journalist is doing their job and the person in government isn't. And a core principle of the ABC is its independence from government, and the board of directors is meant to represent the interests of the ABC. And for this fuckknuckle to be actively jockeying to have journalists punished because they upset his mates in the government is fucking ridiculous. And when that came out, I actually posted on Facebook going, this motherfucker isn't lasting the week. And that was just yesterday. And I made a bold move. He had at most 48 hours to go. I said he'd be gone by the end of the week, and he went today because it was absolutely untenable. Like what came out about him was such bullshit. He had to go. There's no two ways about it. Like he is directly betraying the core principles of the ABC. Like fuck that guy. So it'll be very interesting to see what other dramas come out of that. Toby, you're broadcasting on CB Channel 2. They find me annoying. That seems like a good way to make enemies, Toby. I'm just throwing it out there. Did I see the UN laugh at Trump? I did. That was super goddamn bizarre. Just like it's just bizarre that it's just out in the open now. Trump's idiocy and disconnection from reality has made him a straight up laughing stock around the world. This is literal. He was a figurative laughing stock the whole time, but now he's like a literal laughing stock. Hey, Rickersan, I'm doing good. How you doing? And nice thinking, heretic. If you eat fast food every day, you build up an immunity to the E. coli in the fast food. I think I just need to adjust this a little bit. All right, just a little adjustment. Yes. Hey, Lions Party. Yes, you plot on in and sit, buddy. Yes. Miss Foxification, I reckon you're right. I reckon Bolton's probably hand in glove with the sovereign citizens movement in the US. Again, people who just totally disconnected from reality and think that they exist in a bubble. Man, I don't agree with that mentality at all. Like, I think it's a demonstrable lie. Like people go, I'm rich because I worked hard. No, you're not. Even if you started from nothing, which almost no rich people do, but built up a company, you only made money from the company by exploiting the labor of other people. And to a degree, I'm okay with that. I only get upset with capitalism when extreme abuses are allowed to happen. Like, you know, Jeff Bezos, because of the stock price of Amazon, is regarded as the wealthiest person in the world, although fully 80+% of his wealth is imaginary, is tied up into the stock price, which is an illusion that could be popped at any moment. But yeah, so he's the wealthiest man in the world, while at the same time criminally exploiting workers all over the world and giving fucked working conditions. It's just like, you don't get to be this rich without fucking people over. And I'm a socialist to, some people say, you're a socialist or a communist. No, I'm a socialist to the extent I believe we live in a society, and anyone who reckons any good in their life isn't dependent on other people is full of shit and not to be trusted. It's like all the business going, we're providing you the jobs. Because like, motherfucker, the taxes are providing the roads and the public transport. Oh, Mimsy wants to come in here. I should duck over here and let Mimsy in so she can come and be with us, I think. So you'll just get really bright white light there for a while. There you go. You come in and be with me. No, I'm not opening that door. You have to come over here and sit with me. Everyone wants to see you. Yes, I got my lighting working, Frank. So I finally look somewhat healthy. Come up here. Everyone wants to see you. Meow. All right, I'll turn this around a little bit. All right, that's your ears. Come up here. No? Okay, whatevs. Locust Trooper, you raise a good point of banks being very irresponsible with lending, bringing about collapses in economies. Yes, I don't think it makes you a socialist to say banks are bastards. I think it's just a question of an observation of the behavior of banks, that they are fucking bastards. Well, come up here. Come up here. Look. Come here. Ah. Sit up here. Everyone wants to see you. And I'll pat you. And then you'll be happy. Yes. Miss Foxification say US debt's at 150% of GDP and climbing. Yeah, that's going to come back and bite them and everyone. Lion Spider, don't get me started on quote unquote libertarians. Like, you know, people who were libertarians, like, you know, in the 90s had some validity to what they were saying, but the ones who've just popped their head up in the last 10 years saying, I'm a libertarian, when they're really just a right-wing piece of shit who doesn't want to take responsibility for anything. I mean, true libertarians, I don't agree with, but they tend to at least be consistent in their views. All these Johnny-come-latelys who assert that they're libertarians when they're just pieces of shit who don't want to take responsibility for anything. And they think, oh yeah, not taking responsibility, that makes me a libertarian. I don't want any rules. No. How's that, Luke? Locust Trooper, can I believe Australia has 7 trillion in housing debt? I don't know if that's true. I could do a Google search, go Australia housing debt. Mortgage numbers changing on housing debt. Let's see. The Reserve Bank says debt's risen faster than income, worse in Australia than almost any other country. That's a cheery thought, isn't it? Doesn't have a figure on it though. Maybe this link does. No, this is oh, here we go. Oh no, that's median house prices, which are just horrific. No, it doesn't have figures. It's just saying that it's a problem, that housing debt is growing much faster than wages, and it's worse in Australia than in most countries. Oh, there you go. Found another link, but the website's down. That's right. Ooh, wait a sec. This might do it. This is a chart that shows me housing debt. Oh no, it's just percent again. Oh, whatever. I don't know what the figure is, but it's bad. The ratio of mortgage debt to income in Australia is bad, growing faster than a lot of countries, and that's a bad thing. La Heretic, US debt is something spectacular to behold. There's no two ways about it. Again, it's imaginary. It's absolutely imaginary. I love that. The whole thing, like the world economic system, only exists because everyone believes in the same fairy tale. If people started rejecting the fairy tale and said, "No, I want to base monetary policy on real things." Now, I'm not saying I'm a gold standard guy that all the economies should work off the gold standard. Even that is imaginary. And based on everyone believing the same fairy tale. But yeah, the way Western capitalist economies work is, or don't work, is fucking bizarre, quite honestly. Oh, Raylene, yes, Clive Palmer trying to rip off the Donald Trump thing. I don't think he realizes how much of a fucking joke he is, like a non-entity. And he has got those billboards everywhere with a heavily photoshopped picture of himself to make him look slimmer. No, that guy's pathetic. And he's also, I mean, you know, he's facing God knows how many court cases for, you know, not paying people or, you know, misappropriation of money. So, yeah. Yes, he is a bad joke, basically. So, yeah. You're in the New South Wales Libs in the 90s and you like trolling them. God damn. That's it, Pat, man. The Palmasaurus should be extinct, but who knows? Oh, yes, Pirate Cat sitting on my shoulder because this little platform is just the right height for Mimsy to be Pirate Cat. What are you looking at? You're looking at my bottles of booze? That's probably not safe. Oh, no, you're just going to curl up, point your bum at everyone and go to sleep. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Sorry, Clive Palmer saying wants Australia to refine materials. Well, anything Clive Palmer says about jobs, industry, whatever, is complete bullshit, especially about refining stuff. He's just been pulling scams, getting money wherever he can. No one involved in mining has been doing anything in Australia's interests for decades. Fuck all of them. Fuck him, Tiggy, what's his name, fucking the other one from Western Australia, what's her name, Gina Reinhardt. Fuck all of them. They're fucking bandits. And they should all have all their assets taken from them, and the fucking mining should be nationalized. There you go. I'm a commie like that. That something like natural resources should benefit all of Australia. Yes, and oh, sorry, who dropped in? Grant. Hello. Yes, I finally got a proper setup so I look better. It only took me a few goes of trial and error. And hello, nobody. Yes, I have. I worked out I need a bright light behind me to get decent skin tones. So I will do that from then on. Oh shit! What was that? Just ice changing temperature, and it cracked in my glass, and I sort of physically felt it. I was worried my glass had cracked. That was pretty weird. So yeah, so we've all got proper lighting. Like that misfoxification. Palmer pig does whatever a Palmer pig does. Yeah, well, in Palmer's case, he lies and talks about himself and acts like an egotistical prick. So yes. Yes, Lion Spider, Mimsy's previous cat tree, the platform things broke off the thing because they're only particle boards stuck on with glue, and so the particle board just ripped off the glue. Like the glue was still there, it just literally the particle board gave up. So we got her a new one the other day, and it's huge because the other one was sitting on top of something there, but this one goes all the way to the ground. It's got multi-level and ladders and all sorts of shenanigans. Well, that's an interesting one, Miss Fox. Because you're saying Clive Palmer in his local seat is up against a woman everyone thinks is a ball breaker, don't necessarily like her but trust her. No one would trust Clive Palmer. I can't imagine anyone trusts him after all the things he's had to front court for and all his shifty behaviour. I can't imagine anyone trusting Clive Palmer. I'm going to have to look her up, Miss Foxification. Might even do a quick web search if we go Clive Palmer opponent, see what comes out. Okay, so his political opponent's in Herbert. It's from a seat called Herbert. Wouldn't you love to live in a place called Herbert, or your parliamentary seat is called Herbert? Oh God, no, that's in a freaking pay site. Fuck off. What else? No. It's I can't find her name anywhere. Wait a sec. There's another one. Oh wait, that's on Facebook. Maybe I can see that. Oh, no, Pepsi's give me. No, okay, I can't find any stuff on it. I don't want to get too distracted chatting to you fine people. Frankie, you should have ANZI for PM. You'd certainly get some interesting policies if ANZI drove policy. Oh my God, Empress Ego, you raised a good one. Meghan Markle is in the royal family now. It was actually a story that she closed her own car door because royals aren't meant to do that. A lackey's meant to do that. That is supremely weird. That is super weird. Hey, Megaleech, how's it going? Locust Trooper, I think you are overstating any positives Clive Palmer did in the fact that he had his little Palmer United party that stayed united for about 6 months, because surprisingly, apparently an egotistical fuck like him is borderline impossible to work with, and no one wanted to be with him anymore. But yeah. Oh, and what am I going to do this weekend, Brown? As little as possible. Actually, look, maybe, make some videos. Who can tell? Charlie, you forgot about the sex party. Yeah. My friend Eva was a founder member of the sex party. She got super upset when they tried to go mainstream. They changed their name to the Reason Party. I think Fiona, what's her name, who got a Senate seat for the sex party, I think she's actually pretty good. But yeah, they're trying to go a bit more mainstream. So, Ms. Pussy Liquor, yes, the lady closing her own door. She's a royal for the modern age, isn't she? She shows they're just like us. The royals are just like us with closing car doors and stuff. Just like us. They really are. Yes, I liked a few of the policies of the Australian Sex Party. That's her, Patman. Thank you, Fiona Patton. And she seems to have her head screwed on straight. Yeah, there was quite a few of their policies I liked. But yes, they've tried to go a bit more mainstream. and they're called the Reason Party now, which is a bit of a shame. A bit of a shame. You know, it's not. There's no party quite like a sex party, really, honestly. Is that Grant? Next thing you know, rules will be buying groceries or paying bills. Yeah, no, they won't be doing that. Paying bills, that's a laugh. Paying tax, earning a wage, any of these things, you know, any of those things would be an improvement, basically. So, yes, I'm far more interested in what's going on with the sex party than with the British royal family. Quite honestly, I think it's a lot more real what's happening or happened in the sex party, now the Reason Party. Yes. I should be in the me, myself, and I party. Yeah, well, you know, you can, if things go your way, as that dude who was elected to the Senate for one term under the, what was he going under? The Hunters and Shooters and Fishers Party that no one expected to get in it, and by a weird confluence of events and distribution of preferences, he did. And then he broadly seemed to be a very level-headed chap. But yeah, the fact he got in that one time was a complete anomaly, and he didn't get in the next election. Hello? Yes? Yes? Want to see the people? Yes. Ricky Muir, that was him. Yes. I quite liked Ricky Muir. He seemed like quite a level-headed chap. The hemp party. Yes, we can have a hemp party. Well, there are in various state Senate runs. There's always people under various sort of hemp titles, parties, legalization parties. Frank, back to the work day. All right, enjoy yourself, mate. Nobody, you think you'd be worse than me with supreme power? Well, you know, at least when my vengeful powers came into play, it would only be on people who deserved it. And admittedly, the ones on the receiving end probably wouldn't agree with me. They probably don't think they're in the wrong, but, you know, I would smite them nevertheless. Give me godlike smiting powers, and I will be smiting motherfuckers left, right, and center. Because I honestly just think there's a bunch of people who need to be smoten. I'm almost certain that's the past tense of smite, because I am so smart. SMRT. Smoten. Smoten sounds like a word to me. That's it. The pirate party. Make it illegal not to speak in pirate speak. Arr. Do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate. Oh God, Megaleech, if I had a Death Note book, I would run out of ink, honestly. And because you didn't, that'd be too slow, because there are certain groups where I'd be wanting to sort of wipe out whole groups, having to write their names down one at a time. Then I'd have to find out their names as well. So that seems too slow. I just want the sort of finger of God zap type thing happening with whole groups of people. Most people I'd give a warning. I would just give a warning. And one warning, you know, the various terrorist group and militaries who are bombing civilians, I guess, no, stop that shit. You've got, you know, stop that shit as of now. You do any more after now, and whoosh, I'm going to wipe you out. And they're going to have themselves to blame, because I will have told them. Raylene, is there a pagan political party? Almost definitely. I mean, honestly, there almost definitely is. Ms. Fox, again, you're right. You're right. Smote is the actual proper past tense of smite. I just wanted to make up a silly word. Oh yeah, Empress Ego, the Death Note live action on Netflix. Yeah, no one had anything good to say about it. I haven't seen it. That was like made in America. They did have an Asian-made live-action Full Metal Alchemist that looked like it might have been good or okay. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But that might have been okay. No, but the Democratic Peace Party. The nice sounding name, except it's just that virtually every party or country with democratic in its title is not democratic. So I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, Lions Party is saying Catherine Davini is standing on the Reason Party in Victoria. Wow. Okay. Our state election in Victoria is in November, I think, coinciding with the US midterms. But yes. Tara, you rightly point out Christmas was a pagan festival, a Christian stole. All the Christian festivals are stolen pagan festivals. Easter, All Hallows, all these things. But that's the thing that the Christians did, just absorb existing things. And missionaries still did that in like South America, Africa, and all those places. And the people say, well, I don't believe in your God. I believe in this God. And the Christians would just go, oh, no, that's actually our God, just with you know them by a different name. And they would sort of twist the stories and go, see, you're actually a Christian, so you should convert. They take over local customs and festivals. That's something Christians have done for a very long time. Oh, Raylene, you study comparative theology as a hobby. That sounds like fun. Locust Trooper, that's a big question. Who's going to win the state election? I hope the sitting government gets returned. In fact, I hope with an increased majority, because the state Liberals are a pack of fucking shitheads. Absolute fucking garbage. Like filth. This is not just, well, this is the political ideology I support, and they represent another one, so I don't like them. No, they're fucking filth. Like the leader of the Libs, is making up filthy fucking racist lies about African gangs out of control. Oh, this government's soft on law and order. And at the same time, he's attending fundraising lunches, having lobster with a mafia boss. It's like absolutely ridiculous. He gets away with it, but he just like talks shit. And yeah, the state Libs in Victoria are fucking vermin, absolute fucking garbage. So I really hope they get smacked about. That's an interesting concept, Pat Man. Hung Parliament with the Reason Party and or Green sharing the power balance. Maybe. I don't know. Of course, the Reason Party doesn't have any lower house seats. The Greens have 1 or 2 in Victoria. It could happen. And yeah, it's I don't know. I haven't actually been paying attention. I haven't seen like polls. I don't know which way the polls are going. But I know the Murdoch media have, ever since the Andrews government got in and started enacting the policies they said they would enact in the election campaign, and the way they enacted that policy was popular with the electorate, the Murdoch trash media have been losing their fucking minds and just running non-stop hit pieces and just making up blatant fucking lies. Locust Trooper, do I personally have any African friends? Friends is probably stretching it. Acquaintances, yes. I don't have any friends. What am I kidding? I don't have friends. But yeah, I have also talked with people who are regarded as community leaders and whatnot. But I would be talking shit if I said I had friends from African background. I've been friendly with people from African backgrounds who are here in Melbourne and hung out with them. but I don't think it would be accurate to say I had African friends, certainly not close friends anyway. Oh yeah, that was a fun one, Musical Aviator. One thing the current state government's done has banned puppy farms because they're cruel and torturous to dogs, and the Libs have said they're going to get rid of that and bring them back. So it's a bold platform to go in on, hating puppies and wanting torture of animals. But, you know, they've decided they're going to be the We Hate Puppies party. So I don't know. As the saying goes, bold strategy. Let's see how it pays off for them. Yes. Ms. Buslicker, invite him out for a beer and a schnitty. Well, I'm not a beer drinker, but definitely out for a drink and a Parma or a chicken schnitzel. Oh, Mimsy's come back. She wandered off for a while. But that's a nice, simple one. Nobody? LNP, not for me. Yes. You're right, Line Spider. Torturing small animals is one of the indicators of psychopathic personalities. I think, what are the other ones? Fire starting, bedwetting, yeah, and torture. I think the trinity of signs is torturing small animals, fire starting, and bedwetting as a child are all warning signs, apparently. Yeah, Empress Igat. Yeah, you're exactly right. The Conservatives trying to whip up, we're all in danger constantly from African street gangs, because crimes do happen to get perpetrated by people of African backgrounds. But yeah, saying that we're all in danger is like saying we're all in danger of being killed by lightning strikes. Okay, technically it could happen, but the concept that we live in fear because of it is quite ridiculous. It's like someone gets attacked by a shark, and so you get all these idiots whose response is, we should kill all the sharks. And it's just like, that is such a fucked response. It is. Humans are so fucking bad at risk assessment. People freak out about real outlier events that seem dramatic. Like everyone in America, oh, the terrorists are going to get us. When you are literally more likely to be shot by a toddler with a gun than by a terrorist in the US. And yet all this fixation on, oh, terrorists, bloody foreigners, illegal. And the actual danger is that the guns are just so widespread and so carelessly taken care of that you are more likely to be shot by a toddler with a gun than by a terrorist. It's like people's ability to accurately assess risk is shit. People are really bad of it. You're right, Pat, man. The biggest criminal threat is the white collar. White guys in suits, they will rob you blind. They will destroy the whole fucking economy. Ms. Foxification, talk about WeChat in China, which is huge, and we don't even get to use it. And you're right also that Australia is really shit at investment in tech. Very, very, very bad. I feel like Mimsy's checking out my drinks here, and she's waiting for me to, you know, I don't know, take my eye off it. And she's going to go for it. Well, I'll tell you what, I have run out of drinks. So was it half an hour? I might make my first cocktail. It's a public holiday tomorrow, and make a few drinks. So what I'm going to do is, look, I got everything ready, so I hardly have to go anywhere. My cocktail shaker, my little jigger measuring thing. Okay, so I'm going to try with the, this is my caramel bourbon. I'm going to make a a caramel bourbon whiskey sour. Just 1 measure of bourbon. Whack that in there. And we've got to put an egg white in because that's how we get the nice frothy action happening. So, where's my eggs? You've got to do the little kitchen trick. All right, fresh egg. Crack it into a cocktail shaker. But I don't want the egg yolk to go in, just the egg white. So I use the half shell to just drain off the egg white and keep the yolk separate. There we go. There we go. Lots of nice egg white in there. And it's just dribbling. Okay, whatevs. I just realized. Okay, it's a little bit messy. I want to save the egg yolk and use it for something else. So just put it in a little Tupperware container. All right. Come on, get in there, egg white. This is a little bit messy playing with eggs. Got egg white everywhere. Ew. Ew. Okay, fine. All right, put the eggshell there. I'll put that in compost later. Don't know why I got that all over my hands. Okay, nobody, if the drinking's affecting your mental health, you should cut out. And also the weight loss. You're at 70 kilos at 6 feet tall. Christ, you must be rake thin. All right, so the other ingredient in the whiskey sour is lemon juice. Now, fresh lemon juice tastes better, but it's a bit more expensive and fiddly. So just got this cheap thing of lemon juice from the supermarket. So that's all. Or you can put sugar syrup, and I sometimes do put sugar syrup in a whiskey sour for volume and whatnot. But I'm not in this because it's got the caramel in it, and I think it would be too sweet if I did sugar syrup in there, simple syrup. So just got to do the old cocktail shakeroo. It froths up a bit. Like a stripper, 70 kilograms is too fucking skinny if you're 6 feet tall. I mean, seriously, I probably should be 70 kilograms, which I'm never, ever going to be. But I'm only 5'8". But yeah, 70 kilograms is too skinny for someone who's 6 foot tall. All right, now this I'm going to put in my tiki mug. You know, cut glass tiki mug. I'm going to put some ice in it though. I got to get my big square of ice because it looks cool. Where is it? Okay, this one. Okay, so the big square of ice. Put that in my tiki mug. And pour in the frothy whiskey sour. There you go. And all frothy. If I wasn't pouring it into a glass with a big square of ice in there, I would have done a second shake with ice in it. And you see, it's whiskey sour. It's all frothy from the egg white. I just got to stir that for a bit. Get it cold. Oh, okay. We're all sharing weight loss now. Raylene, you had gastric bypass surgery and went from 115 to 84 kilograms. Wow. Okay. Well, that worked. Definitely. Locust Trooper, are you 5'11" and 70 kilograms? That is pretty goddamn skinny. Yes. So sharing, I think so. I love it. Well, you've walked in just as we're talking about weight and height. Oh no, Locust Trooper, 5'11", 90 kilograms. I think is reasonable. I don't think you're skinny at 90 kilograms at 5'11", but I think that's a pretty good weight. Oh, now my fridge is making noise in the background. All right, I think it chilled my drink a little bit. I'm going to taste it. Ah, okay, that's kind of wild. Okay, it's not as sweet as I was worried. I think I'm going to make a chili one later. I think I will put sugar syrup in that one. This is pretty good. Not as sweet as I was worried. Emperor, 7 feet tall and weigh 300 pounds. You sound very imposing. Yeah, I know. How's that? Is Pussy Liquor? The bloody fridge has started making a really noticeable noise. Okay, I'm going to put some soda in that. Yes, Catherine, I dissolved some chili rock candy into bourbon. So I've got chili bourbon now. So I'm going to make a whiskey sour with the bourbon that's had chili in it. This one's, what do you call it? Caramel. I dissolved caramel rock candy, salted caramel rock candy into bourbon, which I'm not, I have to be honest, I'm tasting the lemon juice more than anything. Oh, no, that's good. A little bit of soda made a bit of difference. She's just having a bit dramatic misfoxification. You think the gaseous lubricant may have leaked. No, it just does it periodically, and then it'll stop doing it. Locust Trooper, what's the ideal weight for 5'11"? I don't know. We could look it up. If we did, no, that's not what I meant to do. Wrong app. Ideal weight 5'11". Oh, okay, it's got it in pounds because it's American. I'll do a conversion. Got a converter on here for weight. Yeah, 117. 170. Done. Where are we? Kilograms. 77. There you go. Okay, so depending on your build, apparently 90 kilograms is a little bit overweight for 5'11", but only a little, and it's probably not noticeable. Yes, nobody, you did this. You got all the you started us off on the weight talk. But, you know, hey, there you go. You're able to get the conversation going. Everyone's clearly into it. Everyone's been sharing height and weight tips. So that's a good thing. Locust Trooper, I didn't say 90 kilograms is skinny. I said 70 kilograms is skinny for someone who's 6 foot. And 90 kilograms, some people would argue, is a little bit overweight, but I reckon that's probably a perfectly reasonable weight for someone who's 5'11", 6 foot tall. So I wouldn't worry about that. Oh yeah, BMI, body. Oh, Catherine, you notice I'm not talking about my weight and height. Yeah. Yeah, BMI got really overrated a couple of years ago. Became a big thing. Body mass index. That's how you know whether you're healthy or not. Your body mass index, and it's a really blunt instrument. There are a whole bunch of variables you need to take into account when you're talking about health. Yeah, BMI for a while, it's what everyone was talking about. Body mass index. That's how you know whether you're healthy or not. and it's a completely unreliable measure. Like a stripper, you think I'm 5'10"? No, I'm pretty sure I know how tall I am. 5'8", which is close to average for my generation. Probably slightly under average for my generation. But for the current generation, it'd be a bit short. Like young Mr. Angry is like 5'10". He's taller than me, obviously. And that's like average for his generation, I think. So yes, I come from a family of short asses. Like I'm one of 10 kids, and I think I've only got one sibling who's taller than me. Yes, I come from a family of short asses, and that's just the way it is, I guess. I like that musical elevator. BMI stands for every Pacific Islander is obese. Yes. Raylene, no, I'm seriously like, without exaggeration, like 20 kilograms heavier than I should be. But I'm an incredibly lazy and self-indulgent individual. Because I used to be 25 kilos lighter than I am now. And then I just got lazy, and over a period of like 10 years, put all this weight back on. Yes, I really need to do something about it, because it gets harder to carry around as you get older. Like seriously, I feel like my knees are so fucked these days. Like the amount of times I get up and it's like, I can't just get up. I have to lean on things and make noises and go, ah, as I get up. So yeah, it's all a bit much, quite honestly. Being old sucks. Like a stripper, what do I eat? I eat heaps, bruv. Ms. Pussy, no, I haven't put the ice cubes back in the fridge because I'm just going to use them. I'll use them to make another drink. They'll start to melt here on my bench. Oh, Raylene, you're going the whole way with the tummy tuck. Okay. That is the thing. There's a very famous YouTuber. His username's Boogie something or other. He's a huge guy, and he had the stomach stapling thing, gastric bypass operation, and lost masses of weight. And he posted, which was pretty goddamn gutsy of him, he posed for a shirtless picture recently I saw on Twitter. And because he's lost all the weight, he's got masses of loose skin. Because that's the one thing, if you go for huge weight loss, and I think like he's talking about 100 kilograms weight loss, because he was huge, you end up with huge amounts of excess skin. And a common choice is at a certain period have like cosmetics to basically get all this excess skin cut off, which is not trivial surgery. It's really fucking major surgery. So yeah, it's pretty gutsy of him to pose for the picture though. Oh, I know what you're saying, Miss Foxification. There is actually a lot of study showing the regular fasting is quite effective. Like 1 day fasting and then 2 days not, and 1 day fasting, 2 days, that type of thing. There is a lot of study showing that can be quite effective. So, Slow and Crystal, you're listening to Fuckwit City by Cosmic Psychos. Remind you of my on your hands on YouTube. Yeah, oh, that's a good one. CrossFitter, you had the gastric bypass as well. Went from 170 to 103, now 120. Wow. Okay, well, that's pretty effective as well. Tara, you make a very good point. Anyone who thinks surgery alone will solve weight problems is probably going to be disappointed. And whatever you choose, if it's for health, I guess if it's just for cosmetic reasons, do it in a healthy way. Slow Crystal, did I catch that in Melbourne? No, I have not seen a live act in a very long time. And I have to admit, I have a slightly philosophical objection to acts from my youth, like from the 80s and whatnot, doing these retirement funding reunion tours. Because in the 80s, when bands from the 60s did it, we made fun of them mercilessly. And now, yeah, all the bands from my youth are doing it. And I'm not really completely on board with it. Prosecute, you think technology, like nanotechnology, is going to help us lose weight and sit around us? The whole thing is there will probably be a number of breakthroughs in the coming decades for things like weight loss that will show dramatic results up front that then have really unforeseen repercussions down the line, because they'll be too extreme, and they'll initially work, but then there'll be some side effect that no one foresaw. Yeah, but humans being humans, we'll just go off and do really intense shit. Ooh, that's look, that's an interesting one. Miss Foxification, talking about cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness. Because we talked last live stream about I'm planning to do a live stream with AIDSy and some other people, and so in order to work on that, I listened to a bunch of podcasts, and most of them, I listened to like some well-known and popular podcasts. Most of them I didn't like at all. But one I really like, I mentioned, is the Blind Boy podcast, Blind Boy from the Rubber Bandits. He did his most recent podcasts, it's been like an introduction to behavioral psychology. If you've never heard of it and are wondering about it, it is actually really worth listening to his podcasts explaining behavioral therapy, because he's done a lot of study on it and he explains the basics of it really very well. Mrs. Angry is a psychologist, counselor, and I played it for her and said, is he saying the right things? And she said, yeah, it's very introductory stuff. So she was finding it boring because it's very introductory, but he was right in what he was saying. So that was cool. But yeah, if you wanted to know about that, it's worth actually listening to his podcast. Also, I find his podcast really engaging and entertaining. He's funny, he's very well read and very intelligent, and his podcast generally is quite good. But yes, if you want to find out a little bit about behavioral therapy and psychology, listen to his most recent ones. CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. As he said, and it's important to note, I'm not talking about cock and ball torture. And I love that he did that. The sort of people I talk with on the internet will always make that joke. If you talk about CBT, they'll go, oh, you mean cock and ball torture? No, I mean cognitive behavioral therapy. But yes. Oh, okay. Well, I finished that one. So I learned one thing from that. I do want to put... Wait, is that the empty one? No, that's the full one. The empty one's up there. Gotta get this bottle. Ah! No, wait, there's nothing in that. Why is that still up there? There's nothing in it. Okay. Ah, getting my sugar syrup. Miss Sophistication, you like listening to Eckhart Tolle, Krishnamurti, and Alan Watts. Cool. I don't know if I'm going to keep listening to podcasts. I listened to enough to get a feel for what different people do, and it gave me confidence to do a podcast, and so we'll see. Yeah, there is air. There is, that bottle is mostly air. All right, so I'm going to make another whiskey sour, this time with the chili bourbon, and we'll see how that goes. So, crack of the egg, because we want the egg white. Get a little simple kitchen trick. I've used the eggshell to separate the yolk from the white. You know how many of these I've made? I've actually got pretty good at doing this without breaking the egg white. All right, I'm going to save the egg white, do something else with that. Make an omelette or something. Maybe make a brandy flip. Yeah, there are some cocktails that use egg white, it gives it froth and body, but there are some that use egg yolk as well. So, okay, this very red thing is my chili infused bourbon. So we'll just do one shot of that. Pour that in there. And now I'm going to put sugar syrup in. This, I thought there was more. I'm glad I bought another bottle. I thought there was more in this. There's nothing in there. It's just a little bit. Make your own sugar syrup too, but I'm too lazy. So this is the cheapest sugar syrup they had at the bottle shop. There's all different sorts you can get. This was the cheapest one. You're absolutely right. Good memory, Megaleech. This is AngryAussie Killer bourbon because he's allergic to chili. And this is actually made with the rock candy that I dissolved in there. Had chili oil in it. And AngryAussie would have a very bad reaction to that. So now lemon juice. Shot of lemon juice as well. Put that in. Okay. Now if we do it to shaker, 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 try not to make a mess, because the egg white foams up when you shake and it creates a bit of pressure in the cocktail shaker. It can get a bit messy, but yeah. I'm smelling that now. Okay. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, that's going to give it a bit of body. I'll tell you what I'm actually going to do. I am going to shake it with ice. I'm going to use this ice that mostly melted from the last one. I'm going to put that in there. Give it another shake with ice. Make it colder. It's nice and cold. And I'm going to put another fresh block of this nice big square ice in my glass. Und now we pour that in there. Ooh, and it's got a nice little pink tinge in it from the chili. I'm not that drunk, honestly. But yes, okay. So this is my chili whiskey sour. I want to wash my hands. They're really sticky. And the taxi line. Oh my God, that's really good. Just tastes like a whiskey sour. And then as it goes down, there's a little chili bite in it. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to be making more of those. I'll tell you that for free. Yeah. You get a white Russian by adding cream. The white on that is the foam from the egg white. And it's got a little pink tinge, which is quite cute. So, man, that's pretty good. Anyway, now it's sticky from the egg white and stuff. I feel like I want to rush off and do it. A little bit more of that in there. Okay. Yes, it is a very smooth thing. What's that, Lion Spider? You need an umbrella or vodka. If I want strong, that's my red absinthe just there, which is 80% alcohol. How much is this? Definitely give it a pink tinge. 75. This is my 75% alcohol absinthe. What's the thing? I'm all sticky. Look, I'm going to disappear for like 30 seconds to wash my hands. I'm all sticky. Just over here. Do this from the kitchen. All right. Finished hand washing. What is? Oh, bloody hell. Ugh. That ridiculous noise we could hear. It wasn't my fridge. It wasn't the regulator on the fridge going out. The stove here, the clock on the stove has this ridiculous thing that sometime after you use the oven, for some unknown reason, a reason I have not been able to work out, the clock resets to 0, just all goes 0, 0, 0, 0, and makes that buzzing noise. Like, it's not the timer. The timer sounds totally different. It's just that electronic buzz, and you have to hit the button on it to reset it, and it stops. But that's what it was. I thought it was the fridge had gone stupid. I'd forgotten it's not the bloody fridge. It's the fucking clock on the oven. It's making that terrible noise. Oh, wow. I tell you what, I'm going to be making more of these chili whiskey sours. That's great because, again, whiskey sour is probably my favorite drink. That or a sidecar, which is a brandy cocktail. Sidecar has brandy and Cointreau or triple sec and orange liqueur anyway. And what else? Lemon juice. And I'm quite fond of a sidecar. But yeah, sidecar or whiskey sour. It's my favorite. But yes, but this one with it's just like this little bit of chili as you drink it. So, wow. There's a clock. Yeah, no, it has a little digital clock on it that's supposed to tell the time. And also you can set timers for how long you cook things and whatevs. But yeah, there's something wrong with this one. And a certain amount of time after you use it, for no apparent reason, it'll set to 0 and start that buzzing noise, which is super fucking annoying. Miss Foxification, you like black Sambuca? Well, Sambuca and absinthe and what's the Greek one? Ouzo, they all have a licorice base, an aniseed base. So they don't taste the same, but there's a similarity in the base flavor in all of those. They've all got an aniseed base. I tell you, you like fruit cider. No, I don't like the fruit ciders. I like real cider, but it's also a bit too sweet. I've gotten into drinking the cocktails. Loogie, I'll throw it out there. Don't refer to a drink as an Irish car bomb because it's a shitty fucking offensive thing to say to Irish people. Don't, on St. Patrick's Day, have a drink that you declare is called an Irish car bomb, and don't have a drink that you declare is called a black and tan, because both of those are really fucking offensive. Just a little tip there. So you like random silly names? Yeah. See, I guess I don't have really. Oh, look, if you want really outlandish, I'll get the cocktail book Mrs. Angry got me for Christmas because it has some great cocktail recipes here. That's where I found the sidecar. Like, seriously, prior to that, I didn't know I liked brandy. I'd never really had brandy drinks, but because so many of the cocktails had brandy in them, I started making it, and it makes for super yummy drinks. I was looking at mead drinkers. Again, meads, I don't mind mead. It's just too sweet. I would not drink a lot of it because it's so sugary, because it's a honey-based liqueur. What's that misclassification? Appliance service person manufacturer admitted they deliberately placed control panels on appliances in a place in a manner which will be damaged when not cooked. Okay. Planned obsolescence. Okay. Luigi, I didn't think you were deliberately being offensive. And yeah, the way Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day makes, I think, a significant majority of Irish people look at them and go, really? Really? Okay. But honestly, yes. If you could avoid it, referring to a drink as an Irish car bomb is offensive to pretty much all Irish people. And a black and tan is very offensive to Irish Catholics because the black and tans were an English military enforcement unit that murdered an enormous number of people. Hey, Venice, you like the position? Well, that was Mimsy was here earlier. She's gone for a walk now. She might come back. But that was to share screen time with Mimsy on her platform here. But yes. Raylene, there's an apple liquor mead. Well, you can make quite dry ciders and whatnot with apple. I don't like really dry cider. I don't like really sweet cider. I like sort of down the middle draft ciders is my preference. Yeah, Ms. Foxification. I grew up with IRA and Protestant violence in the news. Was in the news quite regularly when I grew up. The Troubles have settled down a little since the 90s. Not gone, but settled down a bit. I mean, that is also a beautifully Irish thing to me. A violent civil war that spans a century is known as the Troubles. That is a beautifully Irish thing as far as I'm concerned, to understate something on such a big scale and just call it the Troubles. I was like, okay, yep. Yeah, Lion Spider, you're right. Irish Catholics in particular, actual Irish people don't make a big deal about St. Patrick's Day. It's people outside of Ireland who make a thing about it. You're right, Miss Foxification. We're not old. We're not old. Oh my God! The other funny thing I mentioned the Blind Boy podcast, which is usually him in a room talking, and he's got that lovely, gentle Irish accent, and he talks quite gently during the accent, and his fans have come to refer to his podcasts as like a hug. It's so sort of soft and intimate with him talking to you. But he's done a couple, they're essentially live podcasts. They were interviews he did at like literary events and whatnot. And when he first did them, he apologized because live he's a bit more active and frenetic for an audience. So he apologized if this wasn't your usual hug. But one of the live ones he did was up in the north. It might have been Belfast or near Belfast. I forget exactly what it was. But the guy he was interviewing in front of a live audience does tours of historical sites about the Troubles, and and that obviously can be quite fraught because the Troubles involved a lot of people getting killed, and the sectarian violence is still fresh in a lot of people's minds, and it could be dubious. And he tries not to be too partisan about it, but take around. And so Blind Boy had him there, said, okay, I'm going to use your knowledge about the Troubles. Some questions people on the internet have given me to ask you. You don't want to get you into any trouble, so we'll just do simple ones. And the first question was, is Gerry Adams still in the IRA? It's like, they just pissed themselves laughing. And it was really funny. Yes, nobody. You're only as old as the person you feel. Well, arguably my current relationship, Mrs. Angry, we've been together for quite a while now. Very happy. You can argue that it's my first grown-up relationship because she's the same age as me. Because it's like, well, okay, when I was in college, my girlfriend was the same age as me, and then the girlfriend after that was a couple of years younger, and the girlfriend after that was a couple of years younger than that, and then the girlfriend after that was about, no, she wasn't 10 years younger than me, but she was about 8 years younger than me. And so it was like my girlfriends were getting progressively younger compared to me. But then there's Mrs. Angry, and we're basically the same age. So this is a grown-up relationship I'm in now. So. Yes, Raylene, you're right. Yes, the way the Yanks celebrate St. Patrick's Day does make the Irish sort of raise an eyebrow. Are we talking about? Sorry, I did see Emperor Seagull saying Ireland belongs to the Vikings. My heritage is Scottish and Irish, which means a lot of Viking, basically, because my Scottish side is from the far north of Scotland, the Orkney Isles, where definitely Vikings visited and pillaged and whatnot. So there's definitely a bit of Viking in my background. Like Stripper, what's it like being in a relationship with a psychiatrist? She's not a psychiatrist. She's a psychologist, which is different. But it's good. It's a wonderful relationship. But I don't know if you've seen any videos. I've done stuff where she has a treatment she uses called EFT or tapping. And I've made some videos where she's doing it on me and showing how it works. It's pretty interesting to have someone who can do all these things. Fox Cops, do you make a practice of walking into rooms and just being a cunt? Because I'll give you a little tip, a life tip that you possibly don't even deserve. But if you walk into spaces literally or figuratively, as in online spaces or offline spaces, and immediately act like a cunt, people assume you're a cunt, and that impression will never go away completely. So even if you manage to redeem yourself to an extent, there will always be anyone who saw you stroll in and do that. There will always be in the back of the mind, yeah, but they rolled in and acted like a cunt. So deep down, I think they're a cunt. So if you want to improve the quality of your life, be less of a cunt. Lex Trooper, no, Mrs. Angry has never been in front of camera. Her voice has been off camera in a few of my videos. But for professional reasons, she's never been in front of the camera on my videos. They're already like when you walk into a room and say, what the fuck you're looking at? Depends if everyone's actually looking at you. Then it could be reasonable. Ha ha, Luki, if I've been paranoid, you might try mind control it. You should see how tapping works. I call it her voodoo brain magic because it's weird. It can be used to help people with trauma. And I mean, that's the main thing she does, help people get over things that they have quite a traumatic reaction to. But it can be used for much more pedestrian things. And I've made videos. It can help you with your eating. It can either help you deal with food cravings. Like, you know, if there's something you can't resist, whether it's like chocolate or chips or pizza or whatever, it can be bizarrely effective in dealing with that. But also, like, if you're like me and don't eat healthy food because you think it's gross and yucky, it can change the way you see food, so you'll enjoy eating things that you previously thought were yucky and gross. Like I've done it like with carrots and capsicum, and I mean raw carrots, capsicum, onion, cucumber, all these things that I would never have eaten. And we did this, you know, therapy, want of a better word, and I ended up really liking them. It's super weird. You can look it up. It's called EFT or tapping. And the EFT sounds better because what it stands for is emotional freedom techniques, which sounds kind of stupid and hippie-ish, quite honestly. And a little warning, you do get complete idiots. It's basically like any therapeutic technique that has any value will get fucking weirdos or outright charlatans latching onto it and saying really outlandish or stupid things. Like if you look up EFT, you may well end up with the people who talk about doing it on their pets or even doing it on their pets over the phone remotely. It's basically you can get completely legitimate, solid therapeutic techniques or medicines or supplements, and complete weirdos will latch onto it. Emperor, capsicum's not hot. Capsicum is sweet. Man, I'll get it. I don't know if I've got any capsicum in the fridge. I'll get a bit of capsicum out and eat it now. But I never would have in the past. And this technique, it's super weird. Like there are videos on my channel. I think, let's see, if I go and look at my channel, how easy is it to find these videos? I wonder. Right, okay. Well, my browser says, screw you, buddy. Fine. Thanks, browser. Oh, yep. No, my browser really doesn't want to do this shit. Okay. Oh, no, there we go. Wow, what the hell was that? It signed me out. Did it? God, I think it signed me out. Oh, well, what the hell? That's too dramatic. I can't deal with it. Megalicia, I think bell peppers are the same things as capsicum. Tara, you're going to hell for being trans and you're fine with that. You're right, nobody. Computer said no, definitely. Computer definitely said no. Logan, you're hacking a toy. Oh, no, you're hacking me. Okay, I get it. It's you. Yeah, Tendai, it was Chrome. Chrome just acted super weird on me. The reason I use Chrome, and I'm perfectly prepared for people to point out the limitations of Chrome and the bad behavior of Chrome, but Firefox does not play well with YouTube live streaming, and I don't know why. I don't know if like Google have deliberately nobbled it or something, but I tried a couple times to use Firefox for the live streams, and YouTube live streaming does not play well with Firefox. Okay, it's only 9:20. You know what? I don't know if it's because I had a couple cocktails, but I really have to run off and have a slash. So I'm going to leave you all to your own devices again for a minute. Play nice, and I'm going to be back in a minute. I don't normally have to do this. Just looking for the cocktail. vomit? Did I just walk through cat vomit? Good God. I don't know. Okay. Peak communism. Nice. Oh, okay. Really, you've got to fire up a joint for pain relief. Good, if it works for you. I'm glad it does. Luxury gay space communism. Oh, I heard. Where's that from? Fully automated luxury gay space communism. I did see that somewhere. Yeah, I did. That's why I've been gone so long, Lance. But I wash my hands. Look, this is a great book, The Cocktail Chronicles, because it's not just cocktail recipes. It's like the background and the spirit and where they come from, and explaining various things to you. And it's huge amounts of cocktails, from old classics like Gimlet and French 75, some gin cocktails, and it breaks them up by liquors. Some honey-based ones. The Hanky Panky, which is gin, sweet vermouth, and Fernet Branca. And I don't know what Fernet Branca is. See, I love it. It has little turns of phrase like this. Fernet Branca can be a beneficent bully, an Italian liqueur crafted as a digestive in the mid-19th century. Fernet Branca is made with botanicals including saffron and rhubarb, cardamom, and chamomile. In concert, these ingredients perform a feat of gastro-wizardry, adeptly dispelling the digestive maladies that come from overindulgence. There you go. Raylene, you're right. All the interesting people would be in hell. Look, you think my toilet's on? Yeah, maybe it was. Lance Butter, when you were 14, a wacky Catholic told you you'd go to hell if you didn't believe in Jesus, and they had forced orgies in hell, so you immediately wanted to sign up for hell. Nice. I think some of my favorites from here. Hotel National, the Blood and Sand. That's isn't Blood and Sand a dramatic sounding drink? That's just Scotch, orange juice, vermouth, and cherry liqueur. Cocktails with a dab of divinity. I'm trying to find which of my favorites in here. You get a Rob Roy is Scotch, vermouth, and orange bitters, and a Bobby Burns is Scotch, vermouth, Benedictine, and bitters. So there you go. These are my favorite ones. What are some of my favorites? Widow's Kiss. I remember the main's not bad. I've made that rye whiskey, vermouth, cherry, and a tiny dash of absinthe. Brandy Smash is just brandy, simple syrup, and mint leaves. I'm trying to remember where these are the ones I like. There's a page of ones called the 20th Century. Apparently there's a classic cocktail called the 20th Century, which is gin, lemon juice, Lillet Blanc, which is like a white wine, and white creme de cacao. I often make that one and substitute apple cider for the Lillet Blanc because I don't really like wine. So there's a 20th century. That's the 20th century: gin, lemon juice, Lillet Blanc, creme de cacao. A 21st century, which is tequila, lemon juice, white creme de cacao, and a little dash of absinthe. Or a 30th century, or they call it a 30th century man, and that's Scotch, lemon juice, white creme de cacao, Cointreau, and absinthe. I make that one sometimes. That's pretty legendary. Hey, maybe I should make it now. Who knows? But yes, I like the 30th century man. That's the drink of the future. Logan Paul, nothing wrong with having an apple juice popper, man. What's another good one? I mean, seriously, there are hundreds of cocktails in here. I'm trying to think which are the ones that I found and liked. Some of them have milk, like a milk punch is brandy, rum, simple syrup, and milk. I've had this one, a gin one called the Clover Club, which is gin, lemon juice, raspberry syrup, and an egg white. That's actually pretty good. I often substitute just like raspberry jam for raspberry syrup. Look, bookshops. I just saw Locust Strip asking. I'm not sure exactly what bookshop it came from, but you probably get it in online bookshops and whatnot. I mean, it is a really good book. I really like it. Oh yeah, whiskey sour, classic. Whiskey or bourbon, or you can have rye whiskey or bourbon or Scotch, or there's actually whenever it's a sour, that usually means the spirit or liqueur with lemon juice, egg white, and maybe simple syrup. So the less common than a whiskey sour, you do get a brandy sour, and there's what's basically a South American brandy called Pisco. You do a Pisco sour, which is good. What's that? Sorry, Lion Spider. A dessert spoon of cognac and chicken soup as a food guest. Raylene, does this have mocktails in it? That's a good question. Probably does have some. I'm not sure. I tell you what, I did get once though, and this is another thing. Mrs. Angry found for me. Look, I'm going to look up the index, see if mocktails are in here. Mockingbird. No, I don't think this. Look, I've got another thing that has. I'll show you. I'll be back in a second. I just have to get it. I think they're watching One Punch Man in the next room. But this thing, Mrs. Angry just found this. It's like cocktails, like bookmarks, and you see they're on a thing, and you fan it out, and there's all these little cards for cocktails. But this one actually has a good selection of, well, it's got a couple of mocktails at the end, it's always good to have suggestions, like a frosty lime, which is lime sorbet, grapefruit juice, and mint syrup, or a San Francisco. And this is an interesting one. This is orange juice, lemon juice, pineapple juice, grapefruit juice, dash of grenadine, 2 dashes of grenadine, and an egg white and soda water. Egg white, if you've never tried it, if you've never tried egg white in a drink, one you shake up, some people find the idea of it really gross, but you can make a really nice foamy frothy drink with egg white. And this is a mocktail version: orange juice, lemon juice, pineapple juice, grapefruit juice, dashes of grenadine, and an egg white. Then you top it with soda water. I mean, that sounds really good. Or a cool passion: orange passion fruit juice, pineapple juice, and lemonade. A silk stocking, drinking chocolate. Oh no, that's okay. I've got 3 mocktails. The rest are alcoholic cocktails. Because you've ever thought of opening a bar? Well, we have this discussion sometimes. It's just that bar work is both antisocial and poorly paid, and I prefer my usual day job, which pays quite well and has more family-friendly hours, really. So I kind of hashtag, what's up, party people? I'm having a party. But seriously, oh, okay. Does this have a brandy flip in it? I'm just going to see. Vitamins, brandy smash, brandy sour. Now, see, like if I do a quick look up of blah 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 blah, you go like egg yolk cocktail and see what comes up. A prairie oyster. Okay, that's disgusting. That's I like to shake it up rather than have a fucking egg yolk floating in my drink. That's disgusting. A Bronx Golden cocktail. That's vermouth, dry vermouth, sweet vermouth, gin, orange, and egg yolk. Carabinieri, tequila, Galliano, lime juice, orange juice, and egg yolk. A Casino Royale, maraschino liqueur, gin, bitters, lemon juice, and egg yolk. I've got those cocktails. Or, yeah, cognac or a brandy flip, which is cognac or brandy, cream, and egg yolk, and sugar syrup. What should I make? A Casino Royale or a brandy flip? Sargon, well, enjoy your PCP, buddy. Thinking if the Casino Royale, yes, just shake gin, lemon juice, the cherry liqueur, bitters, and egg yolk. That actually sounds okay. Locust Trooper, what business would I run if I had the change? You mean basically if I didn't have to worry about money, what would I do? I would probably run a studio, a recording studio, both audio and video, that I could work with YouTubers in. Yeah, like if I won Lotto tomorrow, I'd probably set up a studio where I could work with YouTubers and make things, because that's a thing I would find fun. Right, I'm going to make a Casino Royale. What do I need? I need gin and the cherry liqueur, which are both back here. Gin and cherry. All right. One of these things that I just use a little bit for cocktails. I don't drink that often. So, all right, I'll throw my egg yolk in there. Blah. You go in there. And that has to go in the washing now. All right, so what is it? Gin, lemon juice. All right, we go gin. As do this. A measure of gin. All right. Put that in there. A little bit of the cherry, not as much as the gin. A little bit. Some lemon juice. Where's my lemon juice gone? It's here. Flaming Moe from The Simpsons. Yes, I could try and make a Flaming Moe. Lemon juice. It says orange bitters. I actually have all sorts of different bitters around the place, but I think I got just standard bitters here somewhere. Where's my bitters? Oh, that's bullshit. Where's the bitters gone? Hang on 1 second. Right. So some bitters as well. Oh, good choice. They got this is spiced cranberry bitters. This is standard bitters, the Angostura bitters that you see everywhere. Said to use orange bitters. Might use the cranberry. A couple of dashes of the cranberry. The big question, Catherine, how many sorts of bitters are there? You're only limited by your imagination with bitters. Like if you want your mind blown, go on a website called bittersonly.com, and there's hundreds of different sorts. Bitters is basically it's just something that's been steeped in really strong alcohol to get the essence and the flavor out, whether it's fruit or herbs or something else. So the standard bitters, Angostura bitters, is herbs like, I don't know, does it actually say what it is? It's just like cardamom and standard sort of things. Angostura aromatic bitters. There's a thing that says what it is. Water, alcohol, it just says spices, doesn't tell you what they are. So it's normally just some spices and herbs. But you can make it out of anything. Like I've got like 6 different sorts of bitters in the house here. So shake, 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 shake. Oh, I'm going to put some ice in there, actually. Miss Foxification. That could work. Make catnip bitters with a vodka based, and then put it on Mimsy's climbing thing. Should go crazy for it. Okay. Oh, that tastes quite bitter, actually. Probably from the bitters. Okay. Made a little bit of a mess. Clean it up. Okay. Shake, shake, shake. Right, and I'm down to my last bit of the big ice cubes, which is starting to melt quite a bit. I'll put that in my glass there. And then I'll pour this with the extra ice in there. Ah! Come on, come off. Wait, where is it stuck? All right, so it's a very healthy orange color, this drink. It should be from the egg yolk, I should say. I'll clean my hands. So yeah, look, this is, it's not coming up across as real orange there. It's very yellowy orange to me. That's not bad. It's fun to try something different. It's no whiskey sour, I'll tell you that. Still, whiskey sour's my favorite one, but it's oh, banana urine. Bananas don't make urine, but yeah, it is. It's a yellowy orange color. It's basically if your urine was this color, particularly if your urine was this frothy, seek medical attention, because that would not be good. Are we talking about rescue animals? Yes, both our cats are rescue cats from the Lord Smith Animal Hospital in Melbourne. Yeah, don't buy from pet shops. Don't buy from breeders, because that's all. The bits in here are ice cubes. If you can see solid bits, it's just ice cubes. There's big ice cubes in here. But yes, there's a little bit of propaganda there. If you're getting a pet, like a cat or a dog, don't get it from a pet shop. Don't get it from a breeder. It's not healthy for the animals the way they are bred. Get one that's, it's a stray, it's a rescue from one of the animal shelters. It's a much better way to get a pet. Well, see, we had this discussion earlier, Locust Trooper. Puppy farms were shut down, which resulted in limitations on what pet shops could do. Pretty sure pet shops aren't banned in Victoria, though. But yes, the opposition has bravely gone with a We Hate Puppies platform for the upcoming election. They said they're going to get rid of the law that banned puppy farms. Yeah, they're going to encourage that cruel breeding process to come back. So yeah, it's a pretty bold move to actually say, oh, I'm going to go into the election with a cruelty to puppies platform, and it'll be interesting to see how that works out for them. Oh, that's an interesting one, Charlie. You're saying Pet Barn has rescues to the RSPCA. Yeah, look, if a pet shop says our animals are rescue animals, we get them through the RSPCA or an animal hospital or something like that, that's fine. But the ones who get them from breeders, no, that shit's fucked up. Yeah, but for whatever reason, Mrs. Angry knew about a place in Melbourne. It's called the Lort Smith, L-O-R-T, Smith Animal Hospital, and you get rescues from there. That's where both our cats came from, and her previous cat came from there too, I think. But yeah, you can find, whether it's the RSPCA or another animal hospital, you can find a nicer way to get a pet. Was that Sargon? Cameron got re-elected on a platform that included, fox hunting with dogs. Yeah, weird shit happens. Oh, is that what the law is, Raylene, that pet shops aren't allowed to sell kittens or puppies but can advertise rescues? Okay, see, I haven't been near a pet shop in ages, so I don't know. It did used to be depressing to see the animals they had in those little glass cages, but yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another good one, Locust Trooper. In Victoria, the government introducing rental reforms to say that landlords couldn't ban people from having pets, and one or two other things to make renting a bit fairer for tenants. And every time there's anything even slightly in favor of tenants, and the people who represent landlords and they won't do it anymore. Fuck off, man. Get out of the rental market. Stop your fucking tax perks that drive up buying a house out of the range of normal people and drive up rents out of the range of normal people. If it's all too hard, fuck off out of the market. Just fuck off. Stop complaining, you pieces of shit. Bloody profiteering wankers. Tind, I remember when Cameron porked a pig. Well, Cameron didn't actually fuck the pig. The initiation of that weird bloody Tory group was you pose sticking your dick in a pig's head, like a dead pig, like something you've got from the butcher, and you have to, at the party, stick your dick in the dead pig's mouth, which we all kind of were guilty of abbreviating to Cameron fucked a pig. Not strictly speaking what happened. He stuck his dick in the mouth of a severed pig's head, because that's a wacky Tory party game. So yeah, a little bit weird. But yeah, don't get me started on fucking rental stuff. It's like, look, if you're filthy rich, want to buy and rent things out, fine. But this whole tax thing that makes it a more lucrative proposition for a rich person to buy their fifth property than it is for an ordinary person to buy their first property is ridiculous. This whole negative gearing bullshit is like, I don't know, fuck off. If someone's so filthy rich they're going to buy a bunch of properties, let them, but don't give them any tax breaks whatsoever. Like none. Don't give them any tax breaks on buying and renting properties. This bullshit, but that's how people get, no, fuck off. That's how buying and renting gets out of the price range of ordinary people. Don't give rich fuckers tax breaks to buy rental properties, or worse still, buy properties that they don't even rent out, that they get a big tax write-off for not having anything in it. Of course, no, we're still talking about Cameron and the pig's head. When that story came out, that the little society that Cameron was in had an initiation with a pig's head, that of course then made everyone think of the early Black Mirror episode where a terrorist kidnaps a member of the royal family and says he'll only release her if the Prime Minister fucks a pig on live TV. That's a very silly episode. Not to say it's not an interesting watch, but it was funny when the story about Cameron putting his dick in the pig's mouth came out. It did make all the Black Mirror fans go, wait, haven't we seen this? Did we not see this? The thing with the Prime Minister fucking a pig? Locust Trooper, the area I live in now, Caulfield, I live around Caulfield. Not actually in Caulfield, but yeah, there's surrounding suburbs. But for people who know anything about Melbourne, it's where the Melbourne Cup is run, the horse race, the second public holiday we get for a sporting event. Tomorrow is a public holiday in Melbourne for the grand final. The footy grand final's on a weekend, and there's a big parade in the city, and only a year or two ago they declared it to be a public holiday. So tomorrow's a public holiday for the football, and then in November we get a public holiday for a fucking horse race. Now the thing is, each state has a certain number of gazetted public holidays, and they can name them after whatever they want. They can set them when they want and name them after, you know, we get one that's arbitrarily called the Queen's Birthday long weekend that is not held on the Queen's birthday. And different states have, a lot of states have a bunch of the public holidays on the same day, but some are different. And in Melbourne CBD, CBD gets a public holiday on Melbourne Cup Day, but in the rural areas of the state, they don't have the public holiday that day. They have another, it's normally local show day is a public holiday. And just recently, like a year or two ago, the Premier decided to move one of the public holidays to make a bigger deal out of the grand final parade on Friday and make the Friday public holiday. You didn't really create a public holiday for the grand final. They actually just moved an existing one and made it grand final public holiday. But it still feels a bit weird that we had two public holidays that revolve around sporting events. I freely admit that feels weird. Look, I think we're all in agreement here about landlords being assholes. As I say, I should come to Glasgow. I would love to see more of Scotland because that's where a lot of my heritage is from. I did visit, I got as far as Edinburgh a couple of years ago with a YouTube friend. We did a road trip from around, we started in Bath and went up as far north as Edinburgh, and then came back down and ended up in London. So we stayed, I think one night we stayed in Nottingham, two nights we were in Edinburgh, one night we were in Manchester, and then had a couple nights in London. That was fun. And I did like being in Edinburgh for a couple of days, but yeah, I'd definitely love to go to Glasgow. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, my family traces from the far north of Scotland, the Orkney Isles. I'd like to go right up there and visit the old ancestral homelands and see what it's like. As a Charlie, oh, it's Monday's Queen's birthday weekend in Queensland. There you go. Sargon, the farthest south you've been is in Wales. Okay. You don't like those filthy southerners. So, dude, fair enough. Tara, you're a good landlord, but you wouldn't do it. Oh, Mrs. Angry is a landlord. She owns some flats, which I guess we'll retire to one day. But while we've got the whole family around, we're living in a house, which we actually rent while she's got these flats that we rent out. But yeah. Locust Tripper, retire to Taiwan. The only trouble with retiring, there's a lot of nice places in Southeast Asia, whether it be Taiwan or various parts of Indonesia or the Philippines. but you don't have the status of a citizen, and things can turn against you if the political climate in the country changes. So it's not without its risk. So I think I got to Wales. I think in the travel around, at some point I was technically in Wales, even if we didn't actually stop anywhere in Wales. But I think we were technically in Wales at one point. But yeah, you know, because like the majority of white Australians, my heritage is English, so I wouldn't mind checking out more of the Isles. I almost got to Ireland last time. I still haven't got to Ireland, and I really want to do that. But yeah, just logistically, it was too hard last time. I almost did it. But I definitely want to go to Ireland, see more of Scotland, see more of Wales. And I've never really done Europe either. And I mean, I just like to do Europe in and of itself. But I got a bunch of internet friends in various parts of Europe, in, you know, Scandinavia and Germany and Belgium, and where else have people that I've interacted with come from? Yeah, that's probably the main ones. Oh, like a stripper, you think I should extend the stay because it's a long weekend and I don't have to get up? Well, you make a good point, because it is just coming up on 10 now. Oh, we're going to pick on Edward Longshanks. Yes, if you have ancestry or currently live in either Wales or Scotland or Ireland, Edward Longshanks is a bit of a fucking enemy for sure. But yes, there's a lot to be resentful of in English history, quite honestly. It's a weird thing. Like when you start to look at history and see how many shitty things happened all over the world, you realize the only reason we exist, no matter who you are, no matter who you're talking to, you can safely say the only reason anyone who's around today exists is because someone else died horribly. You go back far enough and there will be an incident where an ancestor of yours or mine killed someone else horribly. And it's just the way it is. It's humans being what they are. You look at any culture in the world and there are periods in their history where it's either a really nasty war, whether it's conquest, whether it's colonialism, whether it's religious, but there'd be a shit ton of people getting killed horribly, and the only reason you and I exist is because someone else doesn't. One of our ancestors fucking killed someone else, and that's why we're alive and they're not. And if you really think about it, it's a little bit sobering, because yeah, you know, none of us like to think that we're awful, horrible people, but we only exist because of an awful, horrible thing someone did in the past. And even not even just someone murdered, but, you know, in our genealogy somewhere, there will be someone who's the offspring of rape or pillaging soldiers or whatnot. Like we were saying earlier, I'm like Scots-Irish from the north, and there's a lot of Viking blood up there from the various pillaging raids of the Vikings, which is obviously awful for the person it happened to, but it's also the only reason I exist, is that happened. So there you go. This is so you're a direct descendant of Brian Boru, first High King of Ireland. Yes, according to what history and legends we have, Brian Boru. Nice. That's kind of like when you hear the stories of people searching their genealogy, and the amount of people who have something in their genetic history that traces back to Genghis Khan. because Genghis Khan and his army just swept across, you know, half of Asia, like all of Asia and half of Europe, and their bloodline got into a lot of people. So almost, yeah, everyone in Asia and Europe has a genetic link to the reign of Genghis Khan, which just goes to show you can really make an imprint on history if you try. I would be surprised at how many people related to the Mongols. Apparently, it's like everyone has some degree of them. So yes. All right, then you got convicts and settlers. Yeah, somewhere in my genealogy is both convicts and settlers. I've mentioned this before in live streams. Mrs. Angry did some research into my genealogy and predictably picked up a bunch of convicts and criminals along with free settlers. My favorite, I think it was on my mum's side, was these three brothers who were highwaymen, and they got caught and they got transported. But when they came out to Australia, after serving their sentence, they moved west to the country areas near where I grew up, and they became really successful landowners, graziers. So that was probably the coolest thing, that I was related to these three brothers who were all highwaymen and got transported to Australia, and then they became fine, upstanding members of society, which is pretty goddamn funny, quite honestly. I tell you what, I am actually going to bed, even though it's a long weekend. I'm going to go to bed. Look, maybe I'll do another live stream over the weekend. I don't know. I'm going to try and do a TFU Friday tomorrow. But yeah, I was kind of tempted to make another drink, but I think I'll go to bed. Thank all you wonderful people for sharing time with me. It has, as always, been fantastic to spend time with you. I hope you all look after yourselves. Take care, because I want to see you again sometime soon. So yeah, if you feel so disposed to do the old thumbs up on the way out, we'll try and fool the YouTube algorithm into thinking I'm popular. But I hope you had fun. I hope you all look after yourselves, and we'll try and catch up with you again soon. But I will say bye for now. Bye-bye. I always like to